Yes, hello, welcome back to glorious Riyadh. We are now at the business end of fight week. We are now just hours away from the ultimate showdown. Frank Warren versus Eddie Hearn, Queensberry versus Matchroom. They've picked 5 fighters and they want to get the ultimate bragging rights. Today is all about the weigh-in, and I'm delighted to be in the company of the author of The Knockout, Mr. Andy Clark, and the man who always delivers knockouts, Mr. Moses Atama. How are we?
He could well be in the sequel, I think.
Yeah, I think
Something
so.
like that, man.
Moses,
like that.
I mean, look, you fought out here. I guess you love it out here, right? Just looking around as well. They really make a show out in Riyadh, don't they?
100%. It's something I definitely ain't seen before. I believe this is how big it gets, really. Like what other bigger? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they really are investing into this, and I'm looking forward to the card.
It's a great card, and Andy, we had the press conference yesterday. I think the most intense thing were the face-offs, because it felt like all of the fighters had to be kind of pulled away. Everyone was just staring through each other.
Yeah, the face-offs were great.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want from them. You want some meaning, and they went on a long time, and nobody had a white piece of paper to kind of put between the two of them, and nobody wants to look away, nobody wants to get pulled away, and I was all over that, because that's exactly what you want. And it's not surprising, because for all of these fighters, these are massive fights. For a couple of them, they're make or break fights. For all of them, they're at this point the biggest fight they could realistically get, and a win would be huge for every single one of these 10. A defeat wouldn't necessarily be terminal for all of them, but it would be a massive blow.
Let me bring you in, Moses. I mean, Deontay Wilder, it feels like he is the man heading into this with the biggest question mark around him. Is he still that guy? Can he still do it? Can he still pull the trigger?
I don't know.
What do you think?
I haven't been in his camp, so I'm not sure. It's definitely something that we'll see, or we'll find out Saturday night. Judging from his last performance, it don't look like he had it. But then yet again, his whole demeanour has changed. He's not the same Deontay Wilder that I was been in press conference being like, I'm grateful, this, that, X, Y, Z. I think he's more like, I belong on this stage and I'm gonna do something bad. And I feel like that's the demeanour he needs. And I feel like if he brings it out on Saturday night, it'll be definitely fireworks.
But he's taking on Big Bang Zhilei Zhang, and we know he brings all sorts of fireworks.
Yes.
It's a fascinating fight, Moses.
It's a very good matchup. I'm looking forward to it. If I'll be honest, it's very, very close. It's very close, but we'll see, because Wilder does seem to have an engine and Zhang seems not to, so we'll see.
For me, Andy, it's the one that I can't figure out, because it's kind of it's up to Wilder. It feels like if he's still that guy, then maybe he can just knock out Zhilei Zhang, like, you know, and just approach him and stand over him like he used to do with so many opponents. But if he's not, he won't.
It was interesting talking to Malik Scott the other day, wasn't it? Because he was saying that basically with somebody like Wilder, who's got this incredible natural punching power, you don't really need to kind of help him with that, because he's capable of knocking you out from any angle. But what you can do is help him line it up. And he never lined it up against Parker, did he? And I think he went into that fight feeling like, look, I've got 36 minutes to land this right hand. It'll happen at some point. And that was kind of the vibe he had. But against a good fighter, that won't work. You know, you have to have a plan as to how you're going to land it, because if you do land it, you know what it can do.
Well, let's head over to RMC Thomas Triber.
Weigh in for 5 versus 5. A great night of World Championship Boxing tomorrow, live from Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It is all being brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions and Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, in conjunction with Riyadh Season, National Event Center, the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, Gold Star Promotions, and Sella. This great event will be shown live worldwide on DAZN pay-per-view and in the UK on TNT Sports Box Office and DAZN. At this time, we would like to extend a big thank you to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency, Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, Turkey, Al Sheikh.
Oh, Ben.
Let's get the weigh-in process started. Our first two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the WBA Featherweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome the challenger, representing Queensberry from Liverpool, England. He brings a professional record consisting of 19 wins, no defeats, 1 draw, 11 of his 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former WBC featherweight world title challenger, Nick the Wrecking Ball.
Well, here comes Nick. Here comes Nick, the Wrecking Ball, introduced there as the former WBC World Featherweight title challenger. Many feel he should be the WBC World Featherweight champion. Held to a draw by Ray Vargas back in March. Many feel that he actually won that fight.
And now let's welcome the defending world champion representing Matchroom. From Camden, New Jersey, USA, he brings an undefeated record with 15 wins, 1 draw, 8 of his 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the reigning and defending WBA Featherweight Champion of the World, Ray Savage Ford.
Well, here comes the defending champion, very much Team Matchroom. Donned in the tracksuit, made his intentions very clear at the press conference. Believes that he can win this fight any way that he likes. First defense of his world title. He won in such dramatic fashion last time out against Kalmatov. 7 seconds left in that fight.
First to the scale, the challenger.
Let's have a look at Nick Ball on the scales now.
125.8 for Nick the Wrecking Ball.
Well, as expected, Nick Ball indeed does make weight. The official weights were actually done earlier today.
Now to the scale, the defending world champion. $125.4 for Ray Savage Ford.
There was a lot of conversation about Ray Ford and this weight division. He talked about moving up to 130, very much stuck to 126 for this fight, and defends against Nick Ball.
They both made it earlier without any dramas. I do think he's tight at the weight, Ray Ford, but everybody's tight at the lower weights. It's always difficult to make it. I've seen him around this week quite a lot, and he has looked low on energy. He's been moving quite slowly. Funnily enough, I've seen him in the canteen a few times. I don't know what he's been doing there, basically torturing himself, watching everybody else eat. But Nick's got this down to an absolute fine art, Nick Ball, because I saw him come up earlier before the weigh-in where he had a jump on the scales. I think he might have still had just a tiny bit left to go, went away, came back again and made it. They like to hit it bang on if they can.
Well, just a knowing kind of nod there from Ray Savage Ford, kind of smirking at Nick Ball, but Nick Ball has smirked right back. They are just brought about by security, but I quite like that, Moses. Nice face-off.
Yeah. So I like that Nick Ball isn't taking it. He's not showing no emotions. It's going to be very hard to kind of shake him up.
Yeah, very much so.
The champ is here, ladies and gentlemen. Ray Ford, your last fight when you won the title, you literally left it to the last few seconds of the fight. How's this one going to play out?
Me having fun in there, man. We're going back to, dominating and taking over the whole fight from round 1 to whenever it ends.
He's had plenty to say this week. You're kind of a quiet guy, but you piped up a little bit in the build-up. Has he gotten under your skin?
Nah. I mean, I just didn't like their energy, but tomorrow, like all this other stuff, walking around and acting tough and, you know, saying whatever they were saying in interviews, that don't matter. What matters is what's going to happen tomorrow, and that's when we really going to get into that. So, yeah, I'm happy.
All right, good luck and welcome to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Ray forward, everybody.
Nick, everyone said you should have been standing here as champ. This is your second consecutive world title shot. How much are you looking forward to this?
Massively, yeah. Thanks to everyone involved getting me back on over here. I appreciate it, yeah. Ready to go now.
Perfect. Good luck on Saturday night.
Thank you.
Ray Ford in particular talked about how he didn't like the energy from Nick Ball's team walking around like they're going to do something, like they're tough. Maybe he's I don't know, I don't get that energy from Nick Ball and his team. I guess if you're a spiky character, you might see it like that.
No, well, maybe that's not the impression that I get of Nick Ball's team, but I think that's the impression that Ray Savage is getting, so he might be a little bit shook, we don't know.
We don't know indeed. Fascinating fight. WBA World Featherweight Championship on the line on Saturday night. Part of the big 5 versus 5 show. Ray Ford, Nick Ball.
Our next 2 fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the WBC Silver Championship, and it is a final eliminator for the WBC Middleweight World Championship. Let's first welcome the challenger representing Matchroom from Houston, Texas, USA. He brings an undefeated record with 16 wins. Williams!
Well, here comes Austin Ammo Williams. Call him outrageous, call him charismatic. What you have to call him is a very good unbeaten middleweight and the toughest test in the career of Hamza Sheeraz. And Andy, I'm pretty sure I've seen you in that sort of attire in the past, no?
He's been in my room. He's got a tiger's tail on and a headdress. It's an interesting combo, definitely. He's quite intense, isn't he? He's an intense kind of guy.
The defending champion representing Queensberry, and he is the team captain. Hailing from Ilford, England, he is undefeated with 19 wins. 15 of his 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning and defending WBC Silver Middleweight Champion, Hamza Sheeraz.
The unbeaten Hamza Sheeraz, the Queensberry captain, has taken to it like an absolute privilege all week. And Moses, you're very much a Queensberry man.
Yep.
That's a good captain to have there, right?
100%. The first time I watched Hamza was in Poland, I think it was last year, and he really impressed me. I liked how efficient he is, how he doesn't waste no punches. He sits down in the shots. He's had good power punches, very long rangey. I think this is going to be a Queensberry W.
Well, he's got 13 knockouts in a row, but this, Andy, would be the best knockout of his career if he gets this Williams out of there.
Absolutely, for both of these two, it's the biggest fight of their career to date. They both had good wins, but this is their biggest test, and that's why it's hard to call.
I'm a bit surprised the tail isn't up. I thought he was looking quite happy and maybe the tail would be up, but the tail remains down.
For Austin Ammo Williams!
I give it to him, man. You've got to be confident to be this braggadocious.
Now to the scale, the defending champion.
Hamza Sheeraz has brought some fans here with him. They are starting to make a bit of noise here. Team HS. As Sheeraz takes to the scales.
159.6 for Hamza Sheeraz!
Amazing to think that he used to box at super welter, isn't it? How did he do that?
Yeah, unbelievable that he got down to that kind of weight. I mean, he probably end up at, light heavyweight, maybe even beyond that. 6'4".
Never know, he might end up as heavyweight.
Moses, what do you make of the outfit, by the way? Is this something that would intimidate you?
No, but I kind of rate it, you know. I think. Listen, you gotta have extreme confidence to pull that off, and it don't look too bad. Don't know about the towel, but why not?
Well, look at the intensity here. Just the same as yesterday. It's going to take an awful lot to break the eye contact between these two. There were sunglasses yesterday, not today, though.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, there's a little bit of a wind, so I can understand why shades would be a decent idea, but I guess for the real one, Moses, at the weigh-in, you've got to get those sunglasses off and have a good look.
100%. You want to know what the opponent's all about. I think you can gauge a lot by where he's looking, what colour his lips are, if he's shaking or not, his heartbeat. It all comes to play.
Well, Austin Ammo Williams looks fired up, gives a final kind of battle cry to the crowd. And we're going to hear from them very shortly, both fighters. Here's Todd Grisham.
We're here with Ammo Williams. You've got a tiger tail and a Native American headdress. Describe the regalia. I'm here with Ammo Williams, Native American headdress, tiger tail. What's the regalia represent?
Representing my granddad, my late granddad who just left us, Cherokee Indian. Put that on my head. The tiger is me. That's who I am. And I'm just ready to show my whole spirit come Saturday night.
My condolences about your grandfather. I've called a lot of your fights, but I've never seen you this dialed in, this amped up. Am I wrong? Is this different for you?
I have something to take, something that's mine, something that I'm waiting to go get. It's a couple of hours away from me and that WBC belt. I've been asking to get that since September, and it's mine. I have the time. It's mine. I don't care who it is. I don't care where it's at. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted this reaction. I wanted him to have all the confidence in the world, all the people around. That's what I wanted. I'm coming here to take that belt. It's mine.
Good luck to you. Ammo Williams, everybody.
I mean, Hamza, you're standing here smiling. What did you make of that? What's your response?
No, don't really make much of it, to be fair. Don't really make much of it. Like I said, I'm just extremely grateful to be where I am. And tomorrow night, still undefeated, Hamza Sheeraz.
Ammo's been fired up all week, but you have been the definition of cool, calm and composed.
Yeah, no, that's how I've always been. That's how I've always been. Doesn't matter how big the occasion is, I will never let it change me.
Team captain, a little bit of extra pressure?
Not really. Ammo's getting knocked out tomorrow, inshallah.
Good luck on Saturday.
Well, there could not be more contrasting interviews there. Ammo Williams screaming to the crowd here, telling them what he's going to do, how much it means to him. Hamza Sheeraz, very much the embodiment of cool and calm. But both men have savage intentions tomorrow night.
I like the passion from Williams, but for me, he's a bit too emotional. That expends some energy. Hamza Sheeraz is ice cool. He doesn't waste a single ounce of energy all week. He saves it all for Saturday night. But for Williams, if that's what you need to do to take yourself to that place, then it's an individual thing.
Next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest. It will be for the vacant WBC Silver Light Heavyweight Championship. Let's first welcome, representing Matchroom from London, England. He brings a professional record consisting of 18 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw, 11 of his 18 wins coming by way of knockout. Let's welcome the former British champion and former world title challenger, Craig Spider Richards.
Well, along came a spider. Craig Spider Richards is the man looking to halt the Hutch train on Saturday night and get big points for Matchroom. It's a cracking fight at light heavyweight, this one, Moses. Craig Richards, Willie Hutchinson, cracking fight.
Very interesting. I've been asking a few people about who they think's going to win, and 95% of them said they have not even got an answer, so that's what the best fights
And now let's welcome, representing Queensberry, hailing from Carstairs, Scotland. He had a stellar amateur career and now is a professional. He has a record of 17 wins, just 1 defeat, 13 of his 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Willie, the Hutch Train Hutchinson.
Well, stand by. Do not cross the yellow line, because here comes the Hutch train. Willie Hutchinson has been talking a good game all week. has every plan to end this fight within the distance and become the first man to stop Craig Richards. Some people are calling him deluded, some people call him crazy. He's a very confident man, Andy.
Yeah, he absolutely is. He's going to have to show us something we've never seen from him before if he's got to win this fight, but in every career that comes that night, he's had one against Lennox Clark, he came up short, he can't come up short again.
Let me add just so quickly saying there. To be in this game, you need a bit of delusion, you need a bit of self-confidence, a bit of belief. Otherwise, why are you here?
174.2 for Craig Spider Richards.
Craig Richards makes championship weight.
Now we welcome to the scale Willie the Hutch Train Hutchinson. £174 for Willie the Hutch Train Hutchinson.
Well, both fighters make championship weight, and now this is a face-off I'm very much looking forward to. It's been quite intense between them this week.
100%. We'll can't wait.
That's a really interesting thing you said there, Moses, about fighters having to tread that fine line between self-confidence and self-delusion, because it is that, isn't it? You have to believe when that bell goes that the unthinkable, which is losing, is actually impossible, that it's just not going to happen. It doesn't matter if nobody else shares it, you have to believe it.
100%. Most of the biggest upsets come from the most delusional people.
Well, they are nose to nose here. You can see Frank Warren just with his hand on the shoulder of Willie Hutchinson, just in case he does need to just pull him back a little bit. Security in there as well, but they will need to be split apart here.
They were right on the line there, weren't they? That's an interesting situation, you know, when you go forehead to forehead like that. Do you remember Fury doing that to Usyk at the press conference? Yeah. And you can't give ground, can you? In that situation, you cannot give any ground.
No weakness.
Craig, he's had plenty to say about you and to you all week long. It looked like he tried to intimidate you there during the stare down. Has it affected you at all?
Nah, I'm a true professional. We've seen all this before. Come Saturday night, I'm going to get the job done.
I know a lot of your fans, and even yourself included, feel like we haven't seen the best of you yet in your career. What are we going to be saying about you after the fight tomorrow night?
This guy's a serious operator.
All right, well, good luck to you. Craig Richards, everybody.
Willie, it feels like you've got a lot of support here in Saudi Arabia tonight.
Listen, anywhere in the world, all my family, friends, everyone comes to see me, so I'm I'm blessed to see all my friends and family here. And listen, isn't this unbelievable? Look at all these people here. What a platform to be on. I'm feeling unbelievable and rehydrated and ready to rock and roll. Craig Richards, you better be ready for tomorrow night, you boy. One more sleep. Go!
Good luck on Saturday, Willie.
Thank you.
Energy from Willie Hutchinson. Great energy from Willie Hutchinson. For me, this is experience versus exuberance. Because I tell you, Willie Hutchinson will not be deterred. You can't tell him anything. He absolutely believes he will be getting the job done tomorrow night. And just a note, a nice bit of attire from Eddie Hearn as well. Interestingly, he called the Queensberry guys competition winners when they were dressed in their tracksuits. And here he is, clearly got a little bit jealous.
It looks like he's working at a theme park or something, doesn't he?
We continue with a special feature. Tomorrow night it is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for both the WBA and IBO light heavyweight championships of the world. Let's first welcome the challenger, a native of Libya, now fighting out of Pieta, Malta. He brings an undefeated record with 22 wins, 16 of his 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Let's welcome Malik Zinad.
Well, here comes Malik Zinad, a huge opportunity for him. He got the call. Beterbiev had to pull out. They needed a replacement. Out of the chaos came opportunity for this man here who jumped at the chance and can change his life. He takes on Dmitry Bivol, tomorrow night as part of a huge show here in Riyadh. What an opportunity to become Libya's first world champion.
And now let's welcome the defending world champion, a native of Kyrgyzstan, now fighting out of Indio, California, USA. He is undefeated with 22 wins, 11 of his 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning and defending WBA and IBO light heavyweight champion of the world, Dmitry Bivol.
Comes the unbeaten WBA and IBO World Light Heavyweight Champion Dmitry Bivol. Very simply, one of the best fighters in the world today, and says he took the news of the Beterbiev pullout like a true professional. Very quickly shifted his focus. And this should be an interesting fight because you can tell from Malik Zinad, that's a man who's hungry, that's a man who wants it, Moses.
100%, he definitely looks determined to cause an upset. I don't know if the world's ready for too many of them anymore.
$174.2 for Malik Zinad.
He's not that big, is he, Malik Zinad? That's one thing I think when I look at him. For a light heavy.
£175 for Dmitry Bivol.
Well, both fighters make championship weight. And you talk about upsets, Moses. I tell you, the place upsets tend to happen is right here in Riyadh. Strange things happen here.
100%.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow night in a scheduled 12-round contest for both the WBA and IBO light heavyweight championships of the world.
Copying my technique, man. Look left, look right. He's copying my technique.
Who, Malik Zinad?
No, Bivol. Look to your left eye, look to the right eye, look to the left eye, look to the right eye.
He's got that kind of almost cyborg kind of vibe, hasn't he, Bivol? He's a man machine, isn't he? Shows no emotion.
He's a boxing prototype. That's what he is. Let's head over to Todd Grisham.
I'm here with one of the pound-for-pound kings of boxing, Dmitry Bivol, a late-minute replacement. What do you know about your opponent, and what kind of fight do you expect it to be?
I know about him that he's so confident, he's a good fighter, he never lost, and he won this fight before my previous fight also, and it makes my feelings more excited.
Really?
Yes, it's more excited that he never lost and he wants this fight. It means that we will make good fight Saturday night.
Everyone, of course, wanted to see you against Beterbiev. That fight will happen down the line. But what have you done to make sure you're not overlooking this opponent towards that super fight?
Sorry?
How have you not looked ahead? How have you stayed focused on the task at hand instead of that mega fight down the line?
You know, I'm in boxing more than 25 years. I can't do this. I can't be focused on my opponent, whom I have now. And then we will see.
You got a lot of fans here. What do you want to say to them?
Thank you, guys, everyone who's supporting me. Thank you, thank you.
Dmitry Bivol, everybody.
Willie, we are one day out from the biggest fight of your life. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic. Thank you for everybody for supporting me here. I want you all tomorrow and time for action. Tomorrow's gonna be crazy. My mom is here somewhere. First time, yeah, my mom. Be proud for me, mommy. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. My father with me first time after 10 years. So tomorrow's gonna be war inside the ring, guys. War.
Now, you stepped in last minute, and it's only 5 weeks since your last fight. So what have those last 5 weeks been like for you?
Man, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for tomorrow. I'm so happy. It's my moment. I can't wait for this, guys. Tomorrow's the action. Tomorrow you're going to see performance of Malik Zinad. Thank you for everybody for supporting me. You're going to see me all tomorrow, guys.
Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you so much. Let's go!
Well, there is Malik Zinad, a man with nothing to lose, Moses. I mean, he's got it all to gain tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. I kind of like his demeanour.
Yeah.
If I'll be honest, like the way he's coming across, it looks like there might be a little bit of an upset tomorrow.
Well, that is Bivol versus Malik Zinad, WBA and IBO World Light Heavyweight Championships tomorrow night. Fascinating world title fight. It's still 2 unbeaten light heavyweights. It's not the 2 that were initially scheduled, but a cracking fight nonetheless. Let's head over to Michael Buffer.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we move to the big boys of the boxing world, the heavyweight division. Now, how do you top what happened 2 weeks ago here in Riyadh when we crowned for the first time in a quarter of a century the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? Well, 2 weeks later, here we are. We've got 5 versus 5, Queensberry versus Matchroom, and the heavyweight division is represented in our final 2 bouts. This contest coming up, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Interim Heavyweight Championship of the World. Let's bring the fighters to the scale. First, representing Queensberry, he's the former WBA regular heavyweight world champion. His record, 20 victories. He has 19 KOs, only 2 defeats. He is Dynamite Daniel Dubois.
Well, here comes the all-business Daniel Dynamite Dubois, coming off a career-best win right here in Riyadh in December against Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Had to answer a few questions that night. Showed a lot of heart, showed a lot of grit, got the job done. You must have been impressed with his performance against Big Baby Miller, Moses.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like the experience that he's got from the Jarrell Miller fight, and although he lost to Usyk, I do feel like he's gained a lot of experience from that fight also. And it could play a toll in the fight tomorrow against Filip Hrgovic.
His professional record, 17 fights, 17 victories. He has 14 of those 17 by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, from Croatia, the undefeated Filip El Animo Hrgovic.
Well, here comes El Animal, Olympic bronze medalist, unbeaten heavyweight. IBF Interim Heavyweight Championship on the line against Daniel Dubois. Both fighters have talked this fight up.
Representing Queensberry, he's a former WBA regular heavyweight world champion. Comes to us from London, England. His record, 20 victories, 19 by KO, only 2 defeats. Weighing in at 245.8 pounds for the former world champion, Daniel Dynamite Dubois.
That's quite heavy for Dubois. That's quite heavy. He was 239 against Miller. 245 is 17.5 stone. That's the heaviest he's been for a good while.
I think it's a career heavy, Andy.
17 fights, 14 KOs. Filip El Animal Hrgovic. 247.4. 247.4 pounds.
And he's coming pretty heavy as well, Andy.
Yeah, 247 for him is pretty much where he normally is. Just a little bit heavier, 2-3 pounds above where we normally see him. But that's quite interesting with Dubois coming in just a touch heavier. It's nothing mind-blowing. Do you feel, Moses, like he needs to start quick, Dubois? Not be reckless or gung-ho, but Hrgovic, the one thing I would say about him is I'm not really sure if he's got gears. You can't let him dictate the pace.
Yeah, I can see that. I also do feel like Hrgovic hasn't got a good gas tank, so I don't know. I'm the most excited for this fight, if I'll be honest with you. It's a very curious fight for me. And yeah, 2 future world champions, I believe.
And the winner, of course, could be taking on Anthony Joshua at Wembley Stadium.
Saudi Arabia.
The stakes are very high. IBF Interim.
Filip Hrgovic.
IBF Interim Heavyweight Championship on the line. And as I mentioned, the winner could well be fighting Anthony Joshua at Wembley Stadium. That is the level of carrot being dangled. Let's head over to Todd Grisham, who is joined by Filip Hrgovic.
We are here with El Animal. You don't seem to be too impressed by Daniel Dubois. A lot of people think this is going to be a close fight. You don't think so. Why is that?
I don't know, man. Let's get down to business. Let's see tomorrow. But I believe I'll smash him tomorrow.
Do you expect this to be the toughest fight of your career so far?
No. I think I'll smash him.
All right, let's see if he can smash him tomorrow night. Give it up for Filip Hrgovic.
Daniel, Filip said he's going to smash you. What's your response?
You know what? I'm not here to fuck around. I'm here for war. Let's go.
How hard have you worked for this fight?
Hey?
How hard have you worked for this fight?
Oh, just done a show on Saturday. I've worked my balls off.
And obviously everyone's saying Filip Hrgovic's favourite. What are you saying to those that are doubting Daniel Dubois ahead of this fight?
You'll see Saturday. I'm ready for war.
Good luck on Saturday.
Brilliant interview from Daniel Dubois. I mean, definitely means business, doesn't he, Moses?
No, 100%. I'm excited, man. He's switched it up a little bit. Obviously, it's a new Daniel Dubois in these press conferences and obviously in the interviews. I'm very, very, very intrigued for what's going to happen tomorrow night.
I love that. I absolutely love it because he's got no patience with this anymore. Previously in his career, he'd get a little bit tongue-tied. I think he felt like something was expected of him. He wanted to say what people probably wanted to hear, and he couldn't quite work out what that was, and now he just doesn't care, and he'll say what he likes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night at the Kingdom Arena, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, it's 5 versus 5. Queensberry versus Matchroom Boxing. And something I was just informed of, and you will find very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, the winning promoter, the winning promotion of the 5 versus 5, courtesy of Riyadh season, will be awarded $3 million. Like that? All right. $3 million additional dollars, like they both needed. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great night of boxing tomorrow night as Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions and Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing proudly present 5 versus 5, presented in conjunction with Riyadh Season, National Events Center, the General Entertainment Authority, Gold Star Promotions, and Sella. They'll be presenting an evening of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment. It's a special thanks, ladies and gentlemen, to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and His Excellency, Chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, Turki Al Sheikh. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the official weigh-in continues with our final bout of the evening. It's 12 rounds of boxing between two of the very best in the world in the heavyweight division. Coming out first to the stage, he has a record of 29 fights, 26 victories, 21 of his 26 victories by KO, 2 defeats, 1 draw, standing 6 feet 6, from Zhoukou, China, now living, training and fighting out of New Jersey, USA, former WBO interim heavyweight world champion, Zhilei Big Bang Zhang!
The Big Bang, Zhilei Zhang, former WBO interim heavyweight champion, coming off quite a strange performance against Joe Parker in which he had him over a couple of times but never truly capitalised. Ended up losing a very close decision that night. He says that it's angered him, he says that he's made changes, and he says that this is a new Big Bang that we will see on Saturday night.
And now making his way to the stage with a professional record of 47 fights, 43 victories, 42 of his wins coming by way of knockout, only 3 defeats with 1 draw, standing 6 feet 7. From Tuscaloosa, Alabama, USA, the former WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder.
Well, here comes the former long-reigning WBC world heavyweight champion, Deontay Wilder. He is the Matchroom captain on Saturday night. If he knocks out Zhilei Zhang, he takes 4 points to Matchroom. And if you know Deontay Wilder, most of his career, with that 97% knockout rate, he wins his fights by knockout.
Joining now, living, training, and fighting out of New Jersey in the United States. 26 victories, 21 by KO. One of the top heavyweights in the world, Zhilei Big Bang Zhang. 282.8 pounds.
Well, that's 9 pounds lighter than he was last time out, and it's good to see because he was too heavy, I thought.
Next on
291.
to the scales, the former world champion. 43 victories, 42 wins by knockout. 6'7" from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, USA. The Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. $214.6 pounds. The Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder.
214, 15 stone 4. That's exactly where he's been his last couple of fights, and around there is where he's done his best work. He was much heavier in the second and the third fight, particularly against Fury, but Alexander Usyk showed us a couple of weeks ago you don't have to be massive to be the king. Mike Tyson showed us that in the 80s. For the heavyweights, really, Moses, it's a case, isn't it, of you take care of your nutrition, your hydration, you do everything right, and weight-wise, I guess you end up where you end up.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, there's nothing, one specific thing that can win you a fight. Is becoming good overall. And I guess that's why the champions that are champions, they do everything well. Once you step in the ring, it's the four corner of the truth. So you can't slip up with nothing.
Queensberry versus Matchroom. 5 versus 5. It all goes down at the Kingdom Arena tomorrow night. Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Well, look at that. Big Bang Zhang, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. 63 knockouts between them. I don't think this one is going the distance tomorrow night.
Here they are, the main event and final bout of the evening tomorrow night.
How do you see this? I've changed my mind every day because Wilder's still a devastating puncher, even if maybe he has lost that absolutely razor edge. Zhilei Zhang, though, again, he can whack as well, and he's not quite as easy to hit as people think.
Very curious. I'm very curious about this one. I don't believe that Wilder has the ability to win if he doesn't have that right hand with him, but we'll see. We'll find out tomorrow night.
We will indeed, and we're about to be joined by a world champion. But before that, let's hear from the interviews.
That you might even retire if you lose this fight. Why are you putting so much pressure on yourself for tomorrow night?
It's no pressure at all. You know, I've been successful inside of the ring. I'm more successful outside of the ring. So, you know, I have 7 kids that I love so much, and they love me back unconditionally. They say you don't know what love is until you have a child. So, you know, this could be the do-or-die moment for me. I've been so many different places. Boxing have took me around the world. It's been great to me. So, you know, this could be the very end if all don't go well for me. But I'm very confident in what I'm going to do Saturday night.
Yeah, and in your last fight, I know you weren't happy with your performance. You just seemed like you weren't yourself. What Deontay Wilder will we be seeing tomorrow night here in Riyadh?
That's the big question. And that's for everybody to witness come Saturday night.
Can you give us a bomb squad?
Bomb squad! Yalla!
Doesn't disappoint when it comes to the bomb squad. Let's hear from the Big Bang Zhang.
Differently that you didn't do in that fight with Joseph Parker.
跟帕克的比赛吸取了什么经验会用到这场比赛上面？
跟帕克的比赛结束之后，我们整个团队做了总结，然后在比赛之后，把那场比赛的失利，然后总结到这一场比赛中来。
Well, I learned a lot. I sat down with my team. We went over everything. You will see.
Are you fighting the Deontay Wilder of old, or is this a different Deontay Wilder now?
这个威尔德跟几年前的威尔德，觉得还是一样吗？
不一样了，以前有饥饿感，现在没有了。现在就像一只老去的野兽，但是没有威力了。
I think it's a different Deontay Wilder, to be honest with you. He was really hungry, destructive, but right now it's your old soldier.
Zhang, can you get us a bang?
Yes, I'm by him.
Thank you very much. Good luck on Saturday night.
Well, two fantastic interviews there. We got the bomb squad from Deontay Wilder, and we got the yes, I will bang from Zhilei Zhang. I'm delighted to be in the company, of course, of Moses Zatoma, as he has been for the last hour or so, Mr. Andy Clark, and now the source is in the building, Mr. Lawrence Okoli. How are you?
I'm well, happy to be here. It's just a short journey from Dubai, but it's good to be here.
Listen, let's just go straight into that fight. Zhilei Zhang, Deontay Wilder. What did you see up there, and what do you make of that fight?
I think it's a great fight. Definitely one of those ones where you have to almost sit on the fence. I think obviously Wilder's got great one-shot knockout power, and Zhang is a more stationary target. However, I do think he can take a lot of damage and also give out a lot of damage. So it's one of those ones where, I hate to say it, but whoever lands first and concussively wins the fight.
You were talking about the weights, Andy, as well. So much between them in terms of weights, but as Usyk has proved, sometimes with the big boys, it doesn't really matter so much.
No, because people talk about fighters being 15 stone, 16 stone, like that. These undersized, tiny little men almost. But you can be that size and still have the explosivity, mobility, importantly, but also the durability to really scale the mountain. You have to have something special about you, let's be real, because Tyson did, Usyk did, Wilder definitely has. But it's not some kind of insurmountable obstacle. There's a lot of weight between those two. 214 pounds and 282. That is a lot to give away, and that's another reason why it's so interesting.
How much appreciation, Moses, do you have as like a fellow southpaw for Big Bang Zhang?
It's going to play a lot in the fight. Obviously, we saw that Ortiz gave Wilder a hell of a lot of trouble just being the southpaw, but Wilder's just got that equaliser that tends to switch people's lights off, and like Okoli said, if whoever lands first is going out.
It's very much that, isn't it? And is it the same thing with Dubois and Hrgovic? Now, Daniel Dubois is a guy that both of you know, both of you have sparred with Dubois. This is a tough fight for him, right? But what do you think, Lawrence?
I think it's a tough fight, but at the same time, I also think it's a tough fight for Hrgovic. If Dan can get a foothold on the fight early, I think he has a very good chance of stopping Hrgovic. Hrgovic is obviously, there's a lot of talk around his name, but we're yet to kind of see it. We've seen it a little bit against Keane, but Dan has obviously been in there with the higher level opposition and for the most part held his own in all the fights. So I do think he's going to have a lot of experience, even though he's only 26. And he also punches hard. And I've seen in certain fights with Hrgovic, he does go up and down sort of mentally and physically. In the parts where he's on, he's really on, and he can get some really good work off. But in the times that he's off, it might give Dan an opportunity to get him out of there.
Do you think, Moses, this is about Dan getting the initiative early and kind of, getting a bit of momentum early in the fight? Is that what you're seeing?
I don't know, I haven't studied a lot of Hrgovic, but I do believe it's a winnable fight for both of them. And I'm excited. I'm here to watch it as a fan. I'm not too sure what's going to happen. I was kind of swayed to Hrgovic's side, but I definitely want Daniel to win.
It'll be a big win. Look, for either man, it'll be a massive win. Lawrence, since we've got Moses here as well, just tell me this sparring stuff again as well. What was 15 years old, come into the gym.
I don't want to make him blush.
Make him blush. Come on, do it for the cameras.
What could I say? I was preparing. I think he was 15 at the time. I was preparing for the world title fight. At this point, I'd already won the British, Commonwealth, European, and I was preparing for the world title. And I was sparring 3 guys. Sparring was going really well. And I was sparring Carroll, his brother. And I remember after one spar, they said, I want to bring someone down, my brother, he's really good. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, is he southpaw? He said, yeah. Then they said he's 15, and then me and my manager were like, leave him at home. We're not sparring on 15-year-olds in camp, we're preparing for a world title. What are you talking about? Then went home, came back for the next spar, and then there was another guy in the gym. Big guy, wasn't really sure if he was there to spar or watch. I started sparring, and then he got in after my first few rounds, and I got a whisper, he's only 15, go easy on him. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have some rounds off here. Got the shock of my life. No. I said it to everyone that day, and I couldn't even hide it. Everyone was in the gym. I got the shock of my life from the first round that we sparred. I threw a jab, slip. I said, hold on, must have been an accident. Threw another one, slipped the other
have been an
direction.
accident.
I said, okay, you know what? Let's turn it on. And then I never told him this, but at the end of round 1 of our spar, I was obviously I'm feeling the pace. Good counter punch, good everything. He hit me in the stomach just before the end of the round. I remember I couldn't breathe. I got back to the corner and I pretended to shake everyone that was fine. I was just there. Meanwhile, I was waiting to get my breath back. Got it back, and then we ended up doing like maybe 4 or so rounds. But they were the hardest. Those first 4 rounds were the hardest rounds I've ever done in the sport, to be fair. And then after that, I'll tell you one last thing. When I was preparing for the fight before, I was thinking Glowacki, maybe a bit of the sparring. After that, I went to bed. Moses, I need to get a good night's sleep. Moses is coming in tomorrow. So, you know, it really helped with the camp, and it ended up being some of my best performances because I was really fired up. So yeah, from there, obviously, I just shouted him out, and you know, he's showing everyone exactly what he's made of.
Is he going all the way to the top?
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's very rare that I get in there with people and I say, this person's. You know, I've sparred all the top guys. I've become a top guy myself, and you know talent when you see it. So yeah, definitely.
You've done the unthinkable, by the way. You have made Moses Italma blush.
Oh,
this man is blushing. I saw you like looking around. Oh God, Moses, is that sort of how you recall that those times?
Yeah.
15 years old.
So
15. I still can't believe it. Sorry. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Do you know what? I was actually. I remember watching my brother go up to spar him, and this was during COVID at the time as well. So. Amateur boxing wasn't allowed, or amateur sparring or whatnot. So I asked if I could do a bit of sparring with Coley, and yeah, it was just turned out to be one of the biggest blessings. I got to be part of that camp and experience what it was to be like a professional boxer for a hot minute, and I enjoyed it.
So what's going on with you then? I commentated on your fight last week. It was a really, really good win. Hostile atmosphere. You seem to love every.
Live?
You
watched it from.
We were back. We were back at Sky. We were back at Sky, but with the first knockdown, you could see just how quiet the whole place went, basically. Yeah. So you know, it was a terrific performance.
Thank you.
Are you using bridgeweight literally as a bridge to get up to heavyweight? Is that the plan?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like my best performances are going to come as I put on more weight, because when I was making the 90 kilo category, I'll be looking good in the ring, in the gym, when I'm 99, 98 kilos. But then as soon as I have to get down to the 90, it just wasn't working. And I feel like there's some really good fights where a lot of these guys are getting to the tail end of their career, where we can get in there and have some good fights.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, one you mentioned, and I think people were putting the pair of you together already anyway, was Dillian Whyte. Good London fight. You know, there's a lot going for that. Yeah,
definitely. I feel like there's not really many that I would say no to. Dylan, obviously, I don't know what his situation is, and it's funny how tables turn in that scenario. But yeah, we'll see what happens in that aspect. I've sent personal messages and whatever else, but nothing's really transpiring. But there's a whole bunch, you know. I've been getting offers already, so I'm looking forward to it.
Lawrence, just talk to me about this this concept, this 5 versus 5. There's 2 teams. Both teams have a captain. It's all quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's definitely. It reminds me of sort of like the WSB kind of setup that they had in the amateurs. I think it does bring on, although it is an individual sport and none of these guys will train with each other, you do get that sort of, you want to do it for your promoter. You know you're going to get the pats on the back and the next opportunity. So I think it's going to bring a lot out of not only the fighters, the show. You're going to see the promoters 100% behind it. It does create an extra layer of like enthusiasm and incentive, because you want to win anyway, but now knowing that for the team you could get an extra point or whatever. And then I heard that there's 3 million on the line for the winning team. I don't know if they're splitting that amongst they better be splitting that evenly amongst the fighters, but yeah, man, I think it's a great setup.
And Moses, Hamza, Sheeraz, of course, the Queensberry captain, carries himself like a kind of model professional, much like yourself, to be honest. I think you guys are kind of the future of Queensberry, you guys, 100%. And it feels like a good captain for Frank to have picked.
No, 100%. Do you know what? If I looked at that lineup, I'll probably pick Hamza as the captain as well, if I'll be honest. Like I said earlier, I do rate him. I haven't even seen much of Admiral Williams, but I've been very impressed with what Hamza's displayed at the minute, and I just feel like blindly I'm picking him to win.
And Deontay Wilder, being Eddie Hearn's captain after they've been going at each other for years. And, you know, he's kind of been, Eddie's kind of been Deontay's second biggest rival, the sort of stuff. What do you make of that dynamic, Lawrence?
I think that boxing is that kind of sport where today you could be best friends, tomorrow you'll be worst enemies, and vice versa. So it's great to see, and it shows what some good backing can do. It can make enemies become friends.
Something that interests me actually is that you two are really comfortable around each other. At some point, though,
never.
Could this happen?
Never. That's the only one that I said. I heard the name got mentioned. Him, too young, too fresh, too talented. No, thanks. I'll get the other ones.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Now, do you know what?
Very honest.
Lawrence has been like one of the people that's actually backed me from day one. It's probably the first professional boxer I've sparred, and he was getting ready for his world title fight. So it's a mad one to start off with. But like I said, obviously I do appreciate it with him, and then even the other boys that I've been sparring as well. Like obviously I was in camp with Tyson. He's gave me a lot of advice, and even training alongside Anthony Joshua now, he's gave me a lot of advice. So I'm truly blessed and appreciative to be in the position I am, and it's only onwards and upwards.
Lawrence, let me get your 5 picks then. There's 5 fights, all these points are on the line. Let's go through them. Okay. Craig Richards, Willie Hutchinson.
Craig Richards, I think the experience, I've been watching a lot of Willie lately, and he does look very good, I can't lie. He's got good switch hitting, good boxing IQ, grit, and he looked thick on the stage. So I don't think it'll be an easy fight, but I just favour the experience of Craig, and also to box someone like Willie in this kind of atmosphere with his kind of energy, you have to be mentally tough, and I think Craig is. So I would edge towards Craig.
Hamza against Amo Williams.
I think it's a good fight. I do think that Hamza's got really good attributes that are going to help him in this fight, which is range, athleticism, being able to work behind the jab and kind of diffuse Amo. But Amo is extremely athletic and is going to be diving in with hooks, and he'll be fit. So it's definitely not going to be a foregone conclusion. But if Hamza's made weight well, I think he has a good chance of winning that fight.
All right, for the last 3, let's get one-word answers, okay, the flash answer. No, not your bad at all. We need a bit of time to fill, so you keep cracking on. Daniel Dubois, Filip Hrgovic.
Dan.
Okay. Do you agree with that, by the way? You two going to fall out?
No. So it is. I want Dan to win, yeah. And I'm going to back him. I'm going to cheer him on. But I'm just going to be honest. I think it's a winnable fight. I don't know if he will do it, though. We'll see.
Ball Ford.
Say that again?
Nick Ball, Ray Ford.
I actually think Ball's going to win. As much as I liked Ford in his fight where he got the late round stoppage, I just think that Ball's kind of tenacity and the fact that he'll have super confidence from getting a razor close decision. Oh, it was a draw basically with him and Hrgovic, or I can't remember the guy's name.
No, you're right.
I think it's going to give him a lot of confidence in this fight, and I do think that although Ray did win last, Ford won late on his one-word answers. Ball, sorry.
What do you reckon on that one, Moses? Ray Ford, Nick Ball?
To be honest, I think Nick Ball. One-word answers.
And which promoter is going to win?
Oh, that's a good question.
I can't remember who's on. Oh, wait, hold on. We said Hamza. It seems like Warren. It seems like what is that? Hamza, Ball.
Yeah, you picked Hamza. You picked
Hamza,
Nick Ball.
Dan. So
you picked Dubois. You picked Dubois, haven't you?
Oh, we didn't pick Zhang or Wilder. So Zhang or Wilder.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. Maybe my head is saying that Zhang's going to win, but my heart is saying Wilder because obviously I've watched him, knock out so many people. You just think that he should be able to get off, but my head is saying Zhang.
What are you saying for that one, Moses?
Zhang.
Yeah, Big Bang.
Zhang's going to walk through him.
So your promoter winner is.
I don't know how that works out points wise with the captains and whatever else.
It's Queensberry, isn't it? Cause he's picked Nick Ball, he's picked Hamza, he's picked Daniel Dubois.
So he's done it.
Yeah. And Zhang, no?
And Zhang.
Wow, it's a landslide. It's a Queensberry
so.
landslide for a Coley.
I think so. I mean, listen, there's some of them fighters where I don't mind who wins, but the ones I did say, I think that they're the ones that are going to do it.
Let me ask you this, because we got a bit of time. Yeah. So it's now official. Fury Usyk, the rematch is happening. What has Tyson Fury got to do to beat Alexander Usyk in December? What do you think, Lawrence?
Maybe go through a few more trenches in sparring and not get caught with or you know, unfortunate shots, you know, like the one that I hurt, I think it broke his nose or whatever it was. I think that he's got enough skill and he showed it in spurts to kind of dominate the fight, as long as he doesn't come unstuck. So yeah, I think just a bit more conditioning, a bit more fortune in terms of certain shots getting through or not.
Moses?
I don't think Usyk's a very good fighter, so it's not going to be like you can change one thing and all of a sudden he's going to win the fight. I think he's got to have a very good preparation, very good prep, and eliminate a lot of bad habits that he does tend to do. And I do believe he can come out victorious. Like I said, I'll share the ring with him, and he's a very, very unique fighter when he's on top form. I'm excited and fascinated to see what's going to happen in the rematch, see what his preparation is going to be like, and I do hope that he comes with the victory December.
It was fascinating because in the middle rounds in particular, it looked like Tyson was just on his way to even stopping Usyk, Andy.
It did after 6 rounds. However you scored those first 6, the one thing about that fight that everybody I've spoken to agrees on is that after 6, it did look like Fury could maybe keep turning the screw and stop him in the second half. And when he watches it back, he may not have done yet, but he will at some point. He'll probably feel like he let him off the hook. I don't feel like that gives Usyk enough credit, because if you give him a millimetre, then he will grind his way back into it. But I mean, this is a question for the pair of you. Psychologically, it could go both ways, I think. You could look at it and think, I had him where I wanted him, I could do that again. Or on a bad day, you could think, I had him where I wanted him and I still didn't win. It's just very fine margins, isn't it, at that level?
I think at that level, I think that you would go with the, I can't remember which one you said first or second, but you definitely go with, I can do it. You're never going to look at it and say, I tried. You just say to yourself, it wasn't my day, and then you'll just push on and believe. So I do think if he watches it back and gets that same thing, he'll say, cool, let's just work with that, and then go, because you have to fight the guy anyway, so you're gonna go with the fact you can win.
And Moses, let me ask you this: What about you? I was watching an interview with you and Francis earlier. I think it was on Box Nation, eyeing up some potential future foes. Okoli wasn't one of those names, as we've agreed. Never. But we was talking about the guys like Justin Hooney, Tom Schwartz. There's a few names mentioned.
Do you know what? I'm getting to that stage of my career where it's like, with a bit more of experience, I can fight anyone. Like, it's not no name is like spectacular or nothing like that. It's just like, my downfall at the minute is I haven't had a lot of experience. A lot of my fights have been 1 or 2 round jobs. I had two fights that went the distance, but I only had 6 rounders. I need to experience 10 and 12 rounders, and then a couple of them I'll be ready for the guys that are boxing tomorrow night. And listen, it's going to be a matter of time, God's timing.
I think you'll probably have to take a bit of a leap at some point, though, because 100%. Getting people to agree to fight you's not easy. So you might have to go a bit quicker than ideally you would like. Are you ready for that?
100%. Obviously, matchmaking is not my job. Obviously, my job is just to get in the ring and fight, and I feel like I'm doing that to the best of my ability. I leave that down to my team, my manager, even my brothers. They're also heavily involved in this, and I believe that I've got a very bright future blossoming.
We agree, and Lawrence Okoli certainly agrees. Lawrence, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to swap you out and bring in Mr. Eddie Hearn here. Eddie, I think, didn't you call the Queensberry tracksuit guys competition winners?
This is a parody. This is taking a mickey out of you lot. I'm the only, Deontay, the others didn't want to wear it, so I thought I'm going to get my own stuff made tonight.
It's ironic.
I like the Queensberry tracksuit, so I thought I'm getting a Matchroom one done. So we got it done, and I can't wait, mate. I mean, like, we've had so many people talking about, arguing, debating, not just the fights, but the scores. And there's so many dynamics to this team event where it's like, obviously you've got a fighter that might be digging in well behind. You almost want to see them hear the final bell because the stoppage is an extra point. On the flip side, you've got a guy who's dominating the fight, might just be cruising. Step on the gas, let's get the stoppage and another point. And of course, the captain's picks are so influential to the overall result of this. We can win 3 fights in there tomorrow of the 5 and still lose the tournament. And I think that's the compelling nature of the point system.
I bet you're glad this guy's not fighting on the team.
It depends who we had up against him, but I got the pleasure of watching him live last time. Tremendous talent, and very young as well. I remember hearing him saying that he wants to be, the youngest world heavyweight champion in the world. And my advice is take your time. You know, you got many years, and you know he's keeping nice and active, and he's an outstanding talent. One day we'd like to see him in one of these tracksuits, but now me and Frank are friends, probably won't happen.
Yeah, I think you'll get chucked off this platform very shortly if you carry on chat like that, Eddie Hearn. But tell me, which one has excited you the most out of all of them? Because I think you said it's probably Dubois Hrgovic for you. We haven't talked about your one, Andy, but feel free to interject. But what about yourself?
It's so difficult. I mean, you know, you've got different relationships with different fighters. For me, you know, me and Craig go back a long way. Like, to see him get this opportunity is massive, and I like Willie. Do you know what? Honestly, I like all the Queensberry boys as well. There's been a great feeling of everyone. Willie's a great laugh. You know, Hamza's a gentleman, really good fighter. I rate him. I think everybody's underestimating Ammo Williams as well. I mean, he is well out there, but he's a tough man with tremendous reflexes. He can really punch, and he's very unpredictable as well. Wilder Zhang, I think, is the whole tournament is going to rest on that fight. And as Moses said, you know, Hrgovic against Dubois, I've got to say, I think Daniel's looked really good this week. You know, I think he's sort of, don't forget, he's still a young man. And everything that he's been through, especially the criticism, you know, I think maybe he's coming into his own now as an individual. But Filip's very good. But we've got to find out how good, because we haven't yet seen what everybody talks about behind the scenes about Filip Hrgovic. So, and then you've got Nick Ball against Ray Ford, which for me is the top 2 featherweights in the world. I mean, Nick's, you know, don't forget, you know, I'm sure people are aware there is an earlier weigh-in, and that's a ceremonial weigh-in. You get to see the numbers on the scales that the guys are now weighing, and Nick Ball's a big lump. Do you know what I mean? He's rehydrated, nice and tasty. But Ray's very good, you know, very good. You're talking about a real... I feel like this guy, when you talk about Shakur and Devin, he's from that same kind of mould. But Nick's a handful for anyone, right? Well, you're going to, honestly, you're going to get such a stunning night tomorrow night. Like, the emotion from everyone. And it's not just like me and Frank. It's all the fighters that you're seeing all the fighters sending videos in, and they're all watching. AJ's flying out here. It's just a great feeling. One of the best events I've been involved with, and I think tomorrow. And by the way, I think Bivol Zinad's going to be a great fight as well. Malik's right up for it, and he can really fight.
It's gone under the radar a little bit, that one. It's still two unbeaten. Yeah, of course, still 2 unbeaten light heavyweights. Andy, I think you want to prize something out of Eddie. Go on.
Yeah, I've just been dying to
not buying another one of your books.
I should really gift you one in fairness. You did some heavy lifting
for
me.
You made me flog one on a video, and I didn't even get a freebie. What's going on?
Must be an audio book in the post.
I didn't bring enough copies with me. I didn't. I have to ask you this, though, because it'll be the last chance I get. Both of you have talked about the fighters all week. You've kept it away from yourselves, the kind of spotlight. But, I mean, do you really get on, you and Frank, or do you just tolerate each other?
Honestly, yeah. Like, when we first met, it was we just got to do this. You know, His Excellency brought us together and said, like, slapped us both around the face and said, just stop it, you two. Like, let's just all work together. And it was like, almost like a reluctant shake of the hands. Like, all right, like, and I never expected the relationship to go the way it has. I've always got on with George and Francis, you know, similar age to me, but I just had it in my head that me and Frank would never ever speak. And I think that he's realised that although, you know, I've been around now a while, I love boxing. I've loved boxing since I was 8 years old. And I think he's also found that I'm very knowledgeable about the sport as well, because I study it, and I'm so passionate about the game. And so is he, by the way. So a lot of those common conversations are about that. And I think this has probably been one of the most enjoyable periods of my career. This whole, I mean, obviously being out here and working with His Excellency, but being involved with Queensberry, even the teams. You know, and for years, like, you know, you'd open up Twitter and Dev would have been having a pop at one of our fighters or one of our teams. Now he's all chummy with Jamie Ward, our other presenter, and they're presenter friends, you know, and it's all like... But I will say one thing, as much as the team concept is incredible, as much as we want to win, these guys have got to do it for themselves. Like, in there, the team, yeah, it's a nice story. You got to do it. You know, you're going to have to go through some horrible things tomorrow night, go to some bad places. And when you're doing that, don't worry about me and Frank Warren. Worry about yourself. You know, protect yourself at all times. Give it absolutely everything. Chase your dreams and go and change your life, because everybody fighting out here has got the chance to stay on board and keep on going. And, you know, this is a great time for boxing.
A decent cash bonus never hurts, does it?
Well, we ain't coming here for nothing. You know what I mean? So... Obviously, myself and Frank, you know, we want to get paid just like the fighters, and we've all put a lot of work into this. And I'm sure every fighter is doing extremely well out here. And yeah, the winning team, I'm sure will do even better. So looking forward to just so many great dynamics tomorrow night.
Eddie, let me ask you this, right? So if there's a stoppage that shouldn't be a stoppage, if there's a decision that goes one way and you think it should have gone the other way, do you think you could fall out with Frank? Do you think you could go back to the bad old days?
It will be there'll be a lot of that at ringside. You know, because it will be, he's holding ref, shut up, he's not holding it. Because that, you can't help that. I mean, even...
Sorry, what's the seating arrangement? You sitting next to each
I
other?
would think that it's probably His Excellency and us two on the other side. And he'll probably be going, but I'll be up banging the camp. This is the bread. I love it. Like that Catchall Taylor last week, my heart was beating out of my chest for 12 rounds. That's a proper night out for me. I don't want to go to a nightclub and stay out till 4 o'clock in the morning. I want to see a great fight where my boy can go in and change his life. And those guys tomorrow, that's what I'm saying, like about Ray and Ammo. You know, Ray and Ammo and Craig all signed with us from a professional debut. I'm so proud of them. Like, when you've got a kid like Ray who comes out, he's from Camden, New Jersey, you know, so it's a bad neighbourhood, right? He beats Komatov on ESPN, makes some good money. Now tomorrow night, whatever happens, he's paying off his mum's mortgage. He's buying himself a little house. And guess what? You win tomorrow night, you're going to buy another one. And then eventually, Ray, we're going to buy the street. And then hopefully in time, you can look after everybody you know. And that's to see someone change their life through the sport that we love, it's the greatest story. And those guys particularly got the chance to do it. Listen, for Hrgovic and Zhang, they're making mega money. And Wilder and Daniel. But look what awaits. Hrgovic against Dubois could be AJ against at Wembley. You know, Wilder's fighting for his career. Very honest interview. I mean, some might say they didn't like the sound of it, but he didn't lie, did he? He said, I'll get beat, I'm done. So he's either checking out or he's putting all the pressure on himself to perform tomorrow night. I'm double sure it's the latter. But he's got to win tomorrow night. And by the way, 60 pounds lighter than Zhilei Zhang. He's used to it. You know, he's been there all his career, but Zhilei Zhang's a heavy-handed guy. You saw that in the Joseph Parker fight. I just saw Parker, he backs Wilder tomorrow night, but he's going to have to be a lot better.
One thing Eddie mentioned there, Moses, was about the dream, right? To buy the next house, to buy the street, and then look after your family, and then look after the generations beyond. That's the dream, right?
Oh, 100%. Obviously, me and you coming out Kent. We'll be buying up water slates soon, and don't know, make it up to the big stage. Listen, I'm very grateful to even be around these lot. Like I've shared the ring with Daniel, and seeing tomorrow, I want him to do the job.
You know what, at that age and for the fighter, they've got to chase the legacy. And the legacy brings the money. But you also need people around you to know that this is a very, very dangerous, tough sport. And although I want my guys, you know, guys like Moses, obviously, from Matchroom, to become a champion, to chase that legacy, we have to protect them and make sure that they can do all the things that they need to from boxing, which is take care of their family and secure their future. But you must never lose focus of the dream, which is the championships, and is the legacy, and is the World Heavyweight Championship. Because once it starts becoming about money for the fighter, they lose a little bit something, you know?
It's never going to sustain you long, that, is it? Because that was never what it was about when you started.
No, but as you mature, as your life changes, as you're looking after different people, of course, the money is very important. But every fighter has to fight for legacy. And then when it becomes just about the money, they lose a little bit of their soul. But the great ones, you know, I mean, look, Canelo Alvarez is very honest, isn't he? Just pay me as much money as you want and I'll fight anybody you want. Because he's done the legacy bit. Do you know what I mean? What else is there to chase? So, you know, but I feel like us as a team around the fighter, we got to look after the important things outside of the ring, which is, you know, to make sure all that's set for you for life. These guys have just got to work hard because the attractiveness of dreams and legacy must outweigh the attractiveness of just pure money. But mostly they go hand in hand, and that is a beautiful thing.
You've been working hard all week, Eddie. Final rallying cry to that camera down there. Tell them about Saturday night.
Well, Saturday night, I think for me, is one of the best cards you will see. One of the greatest concepts in boxing. 30 years of rivalry between the Hearns and the Warrens. But forget about that. Forget about me and Frank scrapping at ringside. Worry about 5 tremendous 50-50 fights. World-class fights that you cannot pick a winner from. Starting off with Craig Richards, of course, against Willie Hutchinson. I'm backing my man, the Spider. Late stoppage. Willie's looking a little bit, don't want to be disrespectful, fleshy around the body, and then we go on to the 2 best featherweights in the world. Should be a unification matchup. Nick Ball against Ray Ford. It's Camden, New Jersey against Liverpool, England. And what about Ammo Williams against Hamza Sheeraz? Hamza Sheeraz, honestly, Queensberry is so hot on this kid. They've already booked his next fight in at Wembley. Ammo Williams is going to tear up the script and knock him out late in the fight. Then it's the big boys, of course. Filip Hrgovic against Daniel Dubois. The winner could book a slot in front of 100,000 at Wembley in September for the IBF World Heavyweight title. And then Wilder Zhang. Someone's going home and someone's going to sleep. Don't miss it tomorrow night. By the way, throw in Dmitry Bivol against Zinad as a little sort of canapé in between the middle of it all. What a night of boxing. Don't miss it. Thank you to His Excellency. Thank you to Frank Warren. Thank you to TNT, to DAZN. We're all coming together to give you the great nights in boxing. Cannot wait. Don't miss it.
Thank you very much, Eddie Hearn. Of course, you're going to lose 5-0, no doubt about that. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Andy Clark.
You won't rub it in, will you, Dev, on the flight home?
Not at all. Yeah, I don't know about that. Thank you so much for joining us. That is our way, and join us tomorrow. It's finally here. It is the 5 versus 5. Join us then.